Never seen such a ruthless ride-hailing driver. A man shoved a drunk woman into the car, her body twisted, clearly heavily intoxicated. Then the man handed the driver a small tip, asking him to take the woman back to her apartment. The woman sobbed and cried in the car. Her ordeal from 10 minutes prior left her in agony. Through the rearview mirror, the driver noticed her disheveled state. He diverted the route and took her to the hospital. Later, he knocked on the door of the customer who had ordered the ride. He lied, claiming the tip wasn't enough for gas money. Inside were several wealthy second-generation heirs. They didn't mind paying a little extra. The man pulled out a black credit card for the driver. Clearly, he underestimated the seasoned driver before him.
You're not gonna ask me if she got home okay?
She get home okay?
No.
The driver stated the woman was at the hospital. Typically in such situations, drivers would offer a chance for repentance. But tonight, he wouldn't do that. The rich kid realized trouble was brewing and immediately locked the room, preparing to shut the door. The driver wasted no words and pressed the timer, a habit before taking action. The entire process took just 29 seconds. He seemed reasonably satisfied with the outcome. The last man had already wet himself in fear. The driver ordered him to call the police and turn himself in, then snapped his left finger as punishment. As for why he spared his right hand, he still needed the guy to give him a 5-star review. He had once been a top CIA operative, tired of the constant killing and violence. He staged his own accident, using a fake death to successfully retire. He moved to Boston to live a quiet life. Now he worked at a large shopping mall. Yet on his very first day, a robbery occurred. The cashier trembled in fear. McCall calmly stepped forward. He retrieved the cash as the man demanded. But just as he handed it over, the man coveted the cashier's ring. The woman instinctively refused. It was the only gift her mother had left her. But the man cared not, seeing the situation spiraling out of control. McCall's gaze turned sharp and fierce. Just as he prepared to act, 2 children entered, fearing innocent harm. McCall chose to back down, but he memorized the tattoo on the man's neck. He then had a colleague remove the ring and hand it over. The man took the ring and fled the scene. McCall followed, noting his license plate. He then selected a hammer from the shelves. The next day, when the cashier opened the register, she found the missing ring inside. McCall had returned it. Afterward, he wiped the hammer clean and returned it, resuming his duties as if nothing had happened. After work each evening, he frequented a coffee shop to read, simply because his late wife had loved it. There he met a girl named Terry. Through conversation, he learned of Terry's tragic life. Terry dreamed of becoming a singer, yet now she was forced into shady dealings under gang control, facing men's ugly faces daily. Terry was utterly exhausted. Gradually, she discovered that chatting with Terry brought her an inexplicable sense of relief. Over time, they became close friends. But one evening, Terry arrived as usual, only to receive a call. Her boss ordered her to serve a client, a man weighing over 300 pounds. Terry tried to refuse, citing exhaustion, but the man specifically demanded her. Though reluctant, she eventually embraced him and got into the car. McCall, watching from the corner, felt a mix of emotions. The next evening, he brought Terry a cake, only to notice a bruise on her face. He urged her to sit down and talk. They spoke for hours that night, but on their way back, a car blocked their path. The driver was none other than the Russian mob boss. It turned out Terry had clashed with the fat man the night before, which explained the bruise on her face. Her actions deeply displeased Mason. McCall saw the gun in the man's hand and couldn't intervene, and could only watch helplessly as they took Terry away. In the days that followed, McCall never saw Terry at the coffee shop again. This weighed heavily on his mind at work, until that evening, when the coffee shop owner told him Terry had been severely beaten and was hospitalized. McCall rushed straight to the hospital and saw Terry, her face swollen and bruised. This filled him with guilt. If only he'd intervened that night, Terry might not be in this state. From Terry's friend, he learned the attacker was none other than gang boss Mason. She tearfully confided in McCall that Terry had worked here since childhood, believing freedom would come someday. But Mason had shattered that hope. Gazing at the record Terry had given him, McCall resolved to free her from this hell.